Hello my friends from YouTube, Antonio here again, and today I want to go over with you another task, another feature that I want to add to my app Pray4me. We just got this requirement to add a feature where users will be able to completely remove their account from the app, and this is exactly what we will be going over today. I will walk you through what we have in place. For instance, currently what we have is this button where users they can log out from the app. And what I want to do, I will basically replace this action with, I guess, a cog. And once user tabs here, they will be headed over to a new UI. And in this UI, we'll be using I think a table view controller. And this table view controller will have three options. The first one being read terms and conditions. So the same UI that we built last week, we will add into this as another UI into this view controller as well, into this table view controller. So basically by tabbing into a row in the table view controller, we will display the terms and conditions UI, the same as we did for the login UI. Right after, we can have the delete user account, as I said, and we also, instead of having the logout action here, we'll be moving it into the third row of this table view controller. Okay, so let's see how we will be implementing this. So basically we have here logout, and this logout action is showing this confirm dialog, and the confirm dialog has two options, yes or no, and so on. But now we will be basically getting rid of this action. We don't want this thing to happen anymore, but instead we will be talking to the presenter, sending this message to the presenter saying, hey, please show this configuration UI. Okay, so same thing as we did last week, but this time, where is it? Oh, let's say output and show configuration. Show configs. Naming is something very hard. Show configuration UI. For instance, yeah, I think it's okay. Show configuration UI. Oh, even better. Show config module. Configuration module. Much better. Now we go into our interface and we'll have show configuration UI module. And I think, yeah, this is the logout action. So we will be removing this from our interface here. We will not offer this option anymore. Let's see. We have still another guy complaining. Okay, I'll try to compile. In here, and we have prayer detail exactly you. Yes, thanks Xcode. And we have here the logout action. We don't have this one anymore, and now instead we have show config module. This thing here we also don't need. The reason why I'm just commenting these portions of code is basically I think we can later on, once we have those actions in place into the new UI, I'll just come back here and copy them and reuse them again. Let's hide all of this and concentrate into this show configuration module. The same thing, we'll be talking to the router dot show config module, and the router will be in charge of handling those actions on our behalf. Show configuration module. And in here, we are supposed to take this action. So show configuration module. Okay. I think, hi, let's just build it, and I think it will be working fine. Prayer detail and hi. Okay. Exactly what we were expecting. So now we need first to have this module, which is configuration module, right? I will be using this template, and I think this is the one I've tweaked. Yes, this one, and it will have a storyboard, and we'll call it configuration. So we have sign in, prayer detail, config, configuration. It's configuration, yeah. It's too generic, but anyway. And it will create us a set of classes that are those basic components for the Viper, and it will also create us a storyboard. Configuration, let's see. So here we have it, and one thing is that Xcode, doesn't create it as a folder. This is another trick, showing Finder, and I think if I do that, okay, yeah, and remove reference only, and here we have our folder. So basically, here we have our storyboard. And this is something that isn't working as expected, I think. So it's been a long time since the last time I've used this, so I'll just create a new storyboard, a new view controller. View controller. There we go. And this view controller is connected to, so the type of the controller for this view controller will be exactly this. Okay. What else? So we have the presenter, the entire configuration for the module. We have the builder. So this builder is creating the view controller. This is not exactly what we want. I'll use some copy and pasta. Yeah, it's okay. So I think we can use this, exactly this. So we're gonna be loading the storyboard. From there we take our view controller, and then we move along with all the other dependencies for this entire module. So let's borrow this chunk of code, and let's go back to the module builder, and in here we'll take this, but it is called configuration. So this is the same name we have here, and we are loading this configuration. You see, configuration.storyboard. So we have our storyboard, and we're saying please instantiate our configuration view controller. Configuration view, yes, the last one. Configuration view controller. In here we have our view controller, and we're wiring all those connections. So we have the router, we have the presenter, we have the interactor, and we're good to go. Okay, All right, so let's move on. And basically what we want is prayer detail router, this guy. And here we'll just say, hey, configuration module, please give me a view controller. So it's config view controller, and we'll say build and give me a view controller. Now what we are supposed to do, we're going to take this guy and say present this view controller for us. So view controller dot present, or I think navigation controller, because we are supposed to have a navigation controller dot push view controller into config view controller animated through. And with that, we're just presenting our newly created view controller. Let's first, anyway, it's going to work. We're going to see an empty view controller being presented. Here we go. Boom. I think we're missing something. Exactly. Doesn't contain a view controller with identifier. That's correct. So what is happening is this view controller, again, let's go back first for a moment. This instantiation that happens to be an extension within our storyboard relies on this identifier, just so we can instantiate a view controller by an identifier. And we're collecting this identifier by using the view controller's type, which happens to be the exactly name. But the thing is, I haven't set this identifier, so we're not able to find it, and that's why we got our crash. Okay, all right, so we have our newly created view controller, and in here we'll have our table view controller and those three options that I mentioned before. Okay, let's see what changes we have this far. So we have a couple icons here that I've added before starting recording the video. Those icons, we'll be using them to within our table view cells to give a better visual definition on what actions we have. Okay, moving on, we have I think, yeah, basically let's UI table view. We'll have our table view in here, and let's set our constraints 0, 0, 0, 0. Let's make sure it is to the safe area as well, and safe area as well. Okay. All right. So if we switch our simulator into an iPhone X10 shape, we also have what we want. Cool. So we have our table view controller, but for the moment, our view controller is not able to render anything. And that's the next thing we're going to be working on. So let's make sure we have a connection to our view controller. Let's add it right over here. So table view. Okay. So we have our table view, and that's basically it, right? Yeah, table view. And here we'll also set in code data source self table view dot delegate also self. Usually what I like to do is I don't like to use the view controller to be the same data source and delegate for a table view or collection view, as it tends to grow and grow and grow. But I will break this rule now, and I will use the same view controller to be the data provider. Sorry, I will use this view controller to be the data provider and also the data source, the delegate for my view. In this case, because we have very little data, it's not that much, only 3 records. And if in future versions of the app, if we happen to have more data or more options, I'll just move it away and have a separated data source. But just as a side note. So what I will be doing here is it's complaining because my view controller is not conforming to this. So we have UI table view data source, UI table view view delegate. But to make things even more clear, we can even have a separated one here, and it will be 2 extensions, and they are completely split it apart. Yeah, so we have the data source. Here we'll be telling how many rows our table view have, and also we are collecting events using the UI table view delegate. So okay, it like an icon and a text. That's basically what we want. A given icon and a text that will be used as a UI table view label. All right, I will be writing it right here. So we have config data, config record, I think it's even better, and we have icon name, and we can also have text or config label. It's also a string. Actually, this thing here it doesn't need to be the name, it can be UI image. Yes, icon. So here we have the icon, and we also have the label that are supposed to be displayed to users. And here we have our records, config records, and it's going to be an array of config record. The first record it will have is called config record. We're going to initiate it right here. It will have an icon, and it will also have ns localized because we want to have this thing localized. Whoa! And a given comment. The first thing is terms and terms and conditions. Right after, to the icon, I'm not sure. Do I have? Yes, I have an icon, and I'll make this thing optional. Image literal. Yes, that's what I was looking for. And in here we can say Yes, this. Right after we can have one more, and the next one will be terms and conditions. Delete your account. Delete your account. We'll have the bin, trash bin, and log out. Log out. Which is yes, this one. All right. Okay, and right here we can have the number of rows. Return the number of rows, and in here we will be creating our UI table view cell using this data. Set this data into our view model for the table view cell, and we should be good to go. It's a little bit crowded here. Let's create a new tab. In here we have configuration view controller, and we have cell table view dot queue cell with identifier, and we have config item. It's going to be the same, and index path. Right here we have cell dot title or header large content title. This is something I know we have this default configuration for content. Okay, delete image view. Yes, this one here we're looking for. So we have text label, this one. Text label dot text. Nope. All right. Okay. And we also have the image view dot image view dot image, and we're gonna have item dot icon. And let me see what happens if, not sure if this guy is okay. No. Cool. So we have records. We are the delegate for the table view, and once this thing is ready, I think we can call table view dot reload its data, because we're good to go. Let's see if it works as we are expecting. Detail text label, title, subtitle. Aha! Beautiful layout. But there we go. We have those actions. They are not cool or fancy as we expect, but there we are. There we go. Okay. Okay, fine. Now let's capture the. I'm not sure if we can tweak this and say, okay, like text alignment, right? Yeah. All right, those icons, they are, and image view dot fit. I need to take a look into the content mode. Yes, dot no aspect fit. Let's see. Okay, at least we have our text aligned right, aligned to the right. Okay, never mind. And it didn't give us the expected behavior. And now did select row. So by the time we're selecting a given row, we also want to notify our presenter of those actions. In here we have this output, and we'll say well, how we did select action, and this action will be config actions, config action. Yeah, we can have delete account, we can have logout, and we also can have terms and conditions in here. And this thing can also be a property of this guy, action, and we have config action record. No, this guy, config action. And as we're getting this in here, we have config action, action. And this action is terms and conditions. Here we have action delete account, and last we have action dot logout. And with that we are creating our records. Okay, and okay. So, all right, okay, and okay. Okay. Terms and conditions, delete, okay. You can be right here. All right. And in here, we are supposed to did select, and we will have which item we had selected, and we have here the action that was selected. But it turns out that we don't have this option, did select, and it will be right here. Did select action, and we'll have config action in here. Now we should be good to go. What else are we missing? Yeah, now this guy will be notified of what was selected, and here we can take actions on top of those options and decide something. Okay, so let's see, switch action, and here we have delete account. We will also have logout, and we'll also have last terms and conditions. The order doesn't matter in this case, and in here we have, so let's have this delete here we'll talk back to the UI, I think. So confirm delete account. That's what we want. We'll be talking back to the UI saying, are you really willing to delete your account? So this is what we'll talk back to the UI. In here we'll say basically the same thing. Confirm log out. And last we will show terms and conditions. But this will happen by talking to the router. So the router is in charge of this. Okay. So first of all, let's make sure that our interface is doing this. Now we also have confirm logout action, and our router is also supposed to do something on our behalf. All right, and here we have show terms and conditions. This guy will not complain anymore. Play stop. Okay. But our view controller all right, view output, that's also correct. But now we are looking for configuration view. Our view controller doesn't do what we want it to do. So we have this, and we'll have confirm logout, delete account, sorry, and confirm logout action as well. This is some data. No. For now, let's leave it right here. And these guys, I will. So we have router, presenter. I will create this right here. Oh, it's not group. Let's create a file. This guy. And in here, I'll just drag these two guys. All right. So we have all of them in their own file. Here we have our. All right. Let's build it again. Somebody ain't happy. I think, I know. UI image comes from UI kit. so foundation is not enough. Oh, yes, cool and cool. Now I got you. All right, and we are tracking this, right? So we know this is, we're sending those events back to the presenter. And basically now we can jump into here, and the sign in presenter. What we are looking for is exactly this portion of code. And we could just copy and paste this in there, but we're not going to do that. It's not nice. Nobody likes it. We're just duplicating this, and then we would have to go and change two things, the same thing in two different places, right? And yeah, so let's create a module the same way we did for the configuration UI, and bring this entire logic into this module. And in here we can rely on this, or I'm not sure if a module is needed, but maybe only a builder. So yeah, just a builder that returns this Safari view controller. Let's see. For instance, we could have it can be struct. I guess it can struct terms and conditions builder. Oops. And this thing will give us build, and it will just return a Safari view controller. Took too long, it's code. So what we want is exactly this. Yeah. And this thing here, I will tell right away, could not create URL with provided link, with the provided link. And we're gonna just return this thing here. So basically, if anyone tries to use this thing and somehow this link, we are not able to create an URL with this link, we'll tell them right away. And in here we can have our PC just, all right. Now let's go back to this configuration router, and here we're supposed to do exactly the same. So this, and in here we have this guy as well. Okay, and we are later on, if we decide to have something else here, more dynamic terms and condition configuration, we can do so here. Okay, Yes, log out terms and conditions. And there we have our terms and conditions. Same way as well. Cool. Delete account we're not handling anymore. Yet. We're not handling yet. And this guy is also supposed to have its own place. Okay, let's just get rid of this. And I'll just expand, collapse everything again, and we have modules, UI, resources, modules, configuration. I will place this guy. Sign in presenter. So in here, I'll place this guy into the configuration, although it's just because I don't have a better place to introduce this one, but I think somehow terms and conditions usually are within some sort of configuration or about or something like that. So that's the reason why. Configuration, okay, router, builder, presenter, that will be right in here. New file. Okay. Let's go back. Copy this guy and also this guy as well. And funny thing is that we no, wait, hold on. This, and here we'll bring this guy back. What I was about to say is that we don't need to send Safari View Controller in here, because Safari View Controller is also a sort of view controller. So we don't need to expose this information. We're just saying, hey, we're going to give you a view controller, but you don't know exactly which kind of view controller you were taking. I think we're gonna be good with that as well. And same thing. What? No, cancel here. And in here, back, terms and conditions working. Cool. Now, as I said, let's go back into the deletion operation and bring that implementation back. So those are the files that we have changed. And it should be into the logout operation. This. Okay. And configuration presenter, and we're saying confirm logout. So somewhere we'll just have this thing here, just logout operation. I think Firebase Alpha, we also will need that in here as well. Cool. Firebase Alpha, okay. All right, so also something that we will have to work on is the confirmation operation. So we should confirm for both actions. And let's make sure we have this in place as well. So we have, let's go into the rare detail presenter view controller. And we have this confirm with message. But what we're looking for is this. Bar button item. Then I need to do replace logout icon with a cog icon, or settings icon. Logout. Cool. Okay, now let's go back to configuration presenter. This is something that should be into our view controller, and when this action comes out, we will just trigger this and say, okay, would you like to really log out? And if so, we will have we don't have it here? No? No, we don't. Well, we can, because the method is there. Got log out. So right now, whoops, log out. So we are basically back where we were in the first place when we started. So basically one would ask, okay, why not, as I said in the last time we coded the terms and conditions, one could say, why not just placing this in here? The reason is, with that we have more flexibility. For instance, once we could, as I said, we could also have tracking in place. That is happening here. We could track that this action happened. We can also validate that by triggering this. If I were to write a test for the configuration presenter, I could just instantiate this guy, send an action here, and make sure that whoever is interested in the output or the outcome for this operation will also get what is expected. So it gives us more flexibility when it comes to testing. That's the main reason. Let's run it and see if we are getting our alert. So this is basically an extension that I have on top of UI view controllers, and here we're just configuring everything that we got and presenting the alert. Okay, log out. No. And I'm not sure what's gonna happen if I confirm. Yeah, we will. We'll go back here. Cool. Nice. So let's log in again. And here we have, I'm not showing my password. Sorry. Although it's a very straightforward password. Okay. Settings, and now terms and conditions, delete account. That's the last thing we are supposed to do. Okay, so delegation view is ready. Nice. Confirm delete account. So we're gonna have the same, basically the same. The only thing is that a message, would you like to delete your account. Would you like to delete your account? Yes or no? And this time we'll just say delete account. We're just saying, talking back to the presenter. Presenter, please delete my account. Log out here, and we have func delete account. But you will have to say delete account. All right, we're good to go. Okay, delete account is ready, and this is the first time we're gonna be talking to a different component, which is the interactor. We just say, hey, delete my account. So delete, oh no, delete account. And this guy will take care of this for us. Func delete account. Let's do it then. So new group, user service, user service. It will be placed right here. And the same way we did for this guy, it's gonna be quite similar. User service. User service, okay. Let's take this. So we have user service, quite similar. This user service, and our interface, I'll leave it this way, yeah, because I think we can rely on the authenticated user. Delete user account, delete account, delete account. So we can rely on the authenticated user because we know this user is performing actions and we know this is the authenticated user. So that's also good too. That's also okay. So we have this service, and now we will have the user service implementation. New file, service implementation. Yeah. And this implementation will be so user service implementation, user service, and here we have delete account. So within our configuration builder, we will also tell the presenter, hey presenter, no. Yeah, no. The presenter has the interactor, and this interactor is the one who needs a service. So we can have private let service, user service, user service, and we can have our constructor. Let's use something cool. No refactor. Yes, cool. I think I'll create a shortcut for that. It's nice to have. So we are, when creating our interactor, we are, internal is by default. So when creating our interactor, we can, right? We can just set this thing here. and we should be good to go. Somebody will complain. Our here builder, and thing is that we can say what is the output for the is the presenter and user service. We are supposed to create our user service as well. So let's say user service like user service. We're gonna give it right in here. Cool. Inaccessible initializer. Really? Oh, user service implementation. So this guy receives an interface, and we're just sending the implementation into it. Okay, now the entire magic will take place in here. And as we have reached 1 hour and 10 minutes, I think that's enough. Just place here a breakpoint and delete the count. Okay, the message. No. Yes. I'm not sure if I'm calling this, am I? Oh yes. No. In here we have okay, interactor. Let me see. User service implementation. Yes. Delete account. Yeah. So we're gonna trigger this event, and it will talk to the service, to the interface. So we're going all the way from the view controller, then we talk to the presenter then delegates it to the interactor, and the interactor will be responsible for talking to the service and thus performing the action that we have triggered. Yep, yeah, here into the server. So to do talk to Firebase Firestore and delete the user account. This is our next task. Yeah, that's all. I think I'll leave this next task for our next video. I hope again that you guys have learned something cool. It was interesting. Any feedback is also welcome. It's also very welcome. I appreciate it, and I hope that we can have more sections like this. Okay, so that's it. Thank you for your time. Thank you for watching. I hope that you have learned something cool, and I see you in the next one. Bye bye.